And everybody, it's Tim Reazor with Revere Asset Management. Let's see here, just after 3:30 on a Wednesday night. It's very quickly, stock nerds and market lovers. Before you and I begin, because we have got a lot to talk about, and we're going to end up with an IPO watch list and looking at some IPOs and some research we've been doing here of late at Revere. I should say Revere and Friends, Revere and Stock Nerds, because a lot of work has been done by some awesome stock nerds. So we'll take a look at that here in a moment. But before we begin, look, navigate yourself to revereasset.com. Do yourself a favor. If you don't subscribe, please do. This is the only way you're going to get the newsletters delivered right to your inbox each and every day, especially the podcast when we do it on the weekends. And so we release 6 pieces of content every trading week, 52 weeks a year. And so what I want to talk to you tonight about is I'm going to keep building upon the June 12th class of what if we bought every IPO and SPAC and making money with ALF. And then I've got some things to share with you in that regard. But you can find those, by the way, you can find those video podcasts right here under the podcast tab. If you want to listen in your car while you're driving, just get it where you get your favorite podcasts like Google Play or the Apple iTunes Store. Revere Asset Your Money is how you find us with these explicit titles. And then listen, stock nerds, market lovers, any questions, concerns, comments, take umbrage with anything that I'm saying. All you have to do is email me, tim@revereasset.com, call 855-732-5932 to ask any question. Look, we are accessible to you. So no salespeople on the team, right? So here are the fellows that manage the portfolios in-house at Revere. Have any questions about strategy, what they're buying, what they're selling, why they're doing what they're doing? Never, ever for a moment hesitate to reach out to them. They are friendly, they are accessible, and they want to talk to you. Want to talk to America's Fiduciary right here, the owner of the firm, Danny Stewart. Listen, a lot of you, a number of you have gotten taken to the cleaners on annuities, or you were told life insurance is an investment and it's not, it's an insurance product. We don't sell any of that stuff. Danny is one of the best in the country at matching appropriate strategy for person. And I've seen him get on the phone with people, with these insurance companies, and just wrestling back what is rightfully yours, and making sure maybe you don't pay a surrender amount, for example, and doing what's right. And so Danny is your advocate in all things financial. That's why I refer to him as America's Fiduciary. He truly, truly is. So whether you're a client of the firm or not, we do these things free for clients: life planning, the appropriate amount of insurance. We have that discussion with you in terms of life. We don't sell any of that again. We don't have people we refer you to. We just can advise you holistically and honestly. And it's a really big deal because it seems like everyone's got something to sell you, and we don't. We just talk strategy here. So 855-732-5932 is how you get a hold of us. And then for me, you can email me. My inbox fills up pretty quickly to look. I like Twitter. Twitter is brevity for me. I get stock nerds, market lovers reaching out to me all the time. I love it. I love interacting with you. At TJ Reazor is how you find me. You don't have to follow me to reach out to me. My DMs are open, as they say, and you can just shoot me a message. It's like we're texting buddies. And I swear to you, because of the brevity, I get back to you so much quicker. You ask very direct questions on Twitter, and I like to get back to you, in fact, right away. And so that's how you get a hold of me. Let's do this. Like book call ratio, this is still bearish, right? We're not anywhere near. I don't think this is done. I kind of think, if you remember that March timeframe in S&Ps, no, we'll get into that right now. Like that March timeframe in the S&Ps, you can see here. Here's February, and you got the drop, and then you get like one more drop, and then you go on this nice run. Yeah, we're somewhere in here. I think I think this isn't done yet. And so a couple nice days here, nice rebound from Friday, the quad-wood chain and the rebalancing and all of the good stuff. But let me show you something that's super interesting to me, right? And so let's just adjust the old chartaroo. So we're going to stay on the S&Ps, and that was just a daily chart of the S&Ps, my friends. Let's take it down. You can do a 78-minute chart, you can do an hourly chart. I prefer 78-minute. It gives you 5 bars a day. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, well, let me see if I can first set it to S&P. Will you let me set the chart to S&P? You will. Now, let me just kind of minimize this chart a little bit and get you familiar with what I'm looking at. So it's the normal average true range bands that we talk about, right? So the mean 1, 2, and 3. You know what? I'm doing this poorly. Let me do a better job for you. So here we go. So here is the mean. So everything reverts back to the mean, right? Now we're on a 70-minute chart. So the mean 1, 2, and 3 ATRs to the upside, 1, 2, and 3 ATRs to the downside. If you're new to my work, I've done a number of videos on this. Don't hesitate to reach out to me to say, Tim, what the heck are you talking about? I will steer you, my friends, in the proper direction, okay? But when you get to the second and the third ATR, what happens typically, no, we don't. What happens typically is you revert. And you revert back to the mean. It doesn't have to be something nefarious. And the news will make you seem like it's always nefarious. They have to match price action to a story to a price action. And so, but you know, like when this S&P here gets up, and now look, you're in May. Look at the time down here. 3 ATR, pull back. 3 ATR, pull back. And they don't have to be these severe moves. 3 ATR, pull back. 3 ATR, and now this one was. Okay, that one was. And the thing about this is you don't know which one's going to be a big one, and you want to use a preponderance of evidence to get you to form a logical conclusion, right? And so here, like this is small, right? 3 ATR, and you just kind of pulled back to the mean. And look, that's not a big deal, right? So if you just say, well, Tim, how many points was that? Let's see here. We can just look to your right-hand side, 42.42. Down to 42.29. That is no big deal, stock nerds, market lovers. Now, don't make any assumption here that I'm saying that it's a bear market, I am bearish. I'm saying that it's just the ebbs and flows of the market. And I show you this chart to say that you haven't gone anywhere. Like this is like running on a treadmill right now. But you hear new highs, new highs, new highs. We're at new highs, new highs, new highs. And look, we're at 42.20. Back in May, at the end of May, you get 42.26, 42.58, all the way down to 41.26, and then rocket ship back up to 42.45. Like you just haven't gone anywhere. You've traded in their band, right? And you sell the 3 ATR and buy the bottom 3 ATR. I don't know if that's a strategy you can execute consistently. So you have to be able to do something. And I'm going to get to that something because I believe that something is what we stumbled upon as a group, you, me, stock nerds, market lovers across the globe in IPO land. But look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ had new highs, but it doesn't mean it doesn't follow the same rules of probabilities, right? Probabilistic mindset, 3 ATR pullback, 3 ATR, a little bit, and then you give it up. We haven't gone back to the 3 ATR. 3 ATR pullback. Oh, whoa, Tim, where did you do that? You didn't get a marker engaged there. You got 3 ATR pullback. 3 ATR pullback. 3 ATR. It's weird science, right? Like you can't refute science. You can't. I mean, this is why I use the charts. You don't see me on screen. The charts tell the story. I just narrate what's happening. The charts are writing the story each and every day, and I just narrated them to you. And sometimes you tell me annoyingly. And so look here, 3 ATR. We're on the YMs pullback. 3, not really close to 3 ATR. There's 3 ATR pullback. And we haven't gotten to 3 ATR. Oh, we did, and we pulled back. Yeah, lo and behold, right? And it's not the end of the world. It's going to be the end. Well, it won't be the end of the world. But you just don't know which ones are going to be severe. And you want to be able to have buy rules and sell rules that get you in and get you out. You're in a knife fight every day in the market, so you're not going to not get cut. And you have to understand that when you're knife fight, you're going to get nicked. And so it could do one of these, right? Look, we're in the end of May. Oh, look at the RTY screaming higher, but then 3 ATR gives it all back, right? 3 ATR here, 3 ATR, pull back. That's only 2 ATR, 3 ATR, pull back. No, where's 3 ATR? Oh, 3 ATR, pull back. No, we're not at 3 ATR. And so do you have to wait for 3 ATR to pull back? Of course not. But is it highly likely, even on this weird 78-minute time frame that you're not used to? Absolutely. 5 bars a day. I like seeing things that, like if you do an hourly, the same thing works. You can do an hourly chart and figure this out too. So look, what is working? Well, a lot of IPOs are working right now. Let me show you something. So I've got, let's change this back to a daily chart because I will forget to do so. So I've got this list. So a couple fellas. So from this podcast, where that is Nora. No, that's not what I want. I want from this podcast. From this podcast, a couple fellas, Captain Dan from Twitter and Mark from Buffalo, took the words that I was talking about to heart, and they started working out systems to trade the IPOs. Like, what if we bought every IPO in every SPAC? Now, to understand the entire context, I implore you to go listen or watch each of these shows. So that was the week of 6/12. Then on 6/19, I report, hey, Mark from Buffalo is made over 100% in ALF, right? And we'll take a look at that real quick. And so, and look, some of you out there, some more cynical folks will say, that is luck. How do you buy? How do you get 100%? There's all these IPOs, there's all these SPACs. How do you do 100%? Well, you put yourself in a position to be lucky, right? And so Mark is like, let me just test out what this knucklehead Tim is talking about here with buying all the IPOs and SPACs, because he might be 2 wickets short of a croquet set. And so what Mark does is he puts a little technical analysis to it. He looks for the move. He looks for above the 21 or above the mean, and then he's looking for a trigger, right? And then Mark is like, is it an 821 cross? Is it a 521 cross? Could it be this, and you can't see it really tightly here, but is it the 5 coming through the 8? And I'm telling you, Mark got in this base here and he rode it up. And so I believe Captain Dan did as well. Captain Dan is not Captain Dan's name. Captain Dan's name is Captain Dan on Twitter. Okay, that's like his CB handle. If you want to be introduced to these people, just email me, tim@revereasset.com. Find me on Twitter. I will be more than happy to make the introduction. These people are super awesome, just like all the other stock nerds in the community. And so someone would say, Tim, why are you telling us about research? And why aren't you like all the other firms just telling us to send us your money? Because this is the thing, stock nerds. You're watching these videos and you're busy and you're living life and you can't do everything. And we know that. And as long as we're your trusted source, there's going to come a moment in time where either you reach out to us and you say, hey, I had a question about something Tim talked about. Can you guys help? Or I've got an aunt or an uncle or a brother or a sister, my mom and dad. Could you potentially help them? Can we start that discussion? That's been our business model for years. Inclusion. Shocking, right? Transparency and inclusion. And it doesn't have to be any more difficult than that. Oh, by the way, and information that actually works. So there is that. So here's ALF. And Mark and Captain Dan had a great time with ALF. And then they followed up, I believe Mark from Buffalo is in pay. And you can see here, and I'm going to show you here, there's the purple line is my 5 exponential moving average. My green line is the 8, 5 coming through the 8 above the 21. And look what pay does, or Verifone. New highs? Interesting. And so, wow, what if we took all the IPOs and SPACs and we made a watch list? And you can have it, stock nerds, market lovers. I am more than willing to share my research with you. It, my friends, is right here. But it's like 307. It's the last couple years worth of IPOs, okay? And I'm not sure how useful it is in this form. And let me just give you an example. So let's spin the wheel. These aren't even in alphabetical order. We're just going to spin the wheel. Where does it stop? It stopped at safe. Safe Flight Repair, Safe Flight Replace. And so here we're going to go to safe. And so, well, I don't know what safety, income, and growth is, but they've got a little safe there as their logo. And I'm just going to see, is this my signal, right? Is this by the mean with an 821, with an 5 coming through the 8 kind of cross, a little trigger action for me? No. And so I'm like, oh, let's look at PL. Is that it? I'm not 100% sure. REPL, maybe REPL, but look how unreal. I'm gonna have to go through all 374 stocks. Oh, what's that? Yeti. Oh, Yeti. By the way, that looks nice. We'll have to write that down, right? And so, like, I'm thinking, is there a better way to present this information to stock nerds? Not just give them this unruly list where they have to go click, and try to find the ones that work. Look at that, Babar. Babar was an elephant book when I was a kid. How about Moho? Did we do Moho yet? No, Moho. Well, Moho is a 5-8 cross, but the little Steinman there at the 21. So I thought, is there a better way to do this? Let me show you this. And so you can do this kind of screening for yourself. So I'll just take this watch list down here and I'll show you what I'm doing up here. So I've got my IPO watch list. I don't have it intersecting with anything except I added a filter. Well, what did you add? I added a study and I wanted to do a pattern study, a moving average cross. So I added a moving average cross. A 5-period exponential crosses above the 8-period exponential on when, Tim? Tell me when. On a daily chart. Then I hit the button scan. And then I get some results, and you can see this 374, 377 stock list comes down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from there, if I was, because I was a little bit lazy when creating this screen, I would have screened for volume. But I can see here, Uber, 19 million, that's a big number. WMG, 500,000 is okay, I guess. This EVOP now, 200, I want at least 300, right? And we'll look at AIH. So let's just look at these real quick. Are these anything actionable with a 5 coming through the 8? So first one we'll do is AIH. So we'll look at AIH. So, oh, this doesn't count. So AIH does have a 5 coming through the 8. Doesn't mean it can't go any higher, but look, if you just think about this, it's already, how far is it above the 21? This is already 13% above the 21. That's a little high for me. Well, Tim, what's the 21 again? It's that mean. It's the mean right here. It's mean, like Mean Joe Green. Okay, so it's a little extended here, and it has earnings when? On the 24th. Today is the 23rd. And so, no, I don't want to be, I'm not interested in that. So let's go here, back to scan. We don't want EVOP too low volume, PROS too low volume. Let's look at Uber. Is Uber something we could potentially put on a watch list instead of UBR? And so, oh, well, look at that. It's above, it's just peaking above the 21. And do we have a trigger? Do we have something that I could zoom in on and show you what's happening with Uber? What's going on? What's going on? So here we go. We're on a daily chart. We've got UBER. And so here's the 5, the purple line. Is it coming through the green dashed line? The 8 just starting to. Is this something that potentially could go higher? There are a number of these stocks in IPO land in the last 2-3 years that are bucking the trend. Tim, tell me more about this IPO land. CRWD. Look at Crowd. And Crowd, by the way, is in this list. Crowd, there is a Crowd in here, right? And so, well, when was Crowd the move? And so Crowd is real exemplary here. It's a really great example that everybody and their brother can see. So there's the 21. So we're holding above the 21. You get the 5, the purple line, about to come through the 8. And look at where that happens at. Happens at 215. Now you're trading at 252. The problem is this, my friends, is hindsight. And what you need is action now. Like, this is extended, my friends. Doesn't mean it can't go higher. It's just extended. See, RWD. This is extended, my friends. Where is Crowd? CrowdStrike 3 ATR. Is CrowdStrike above the law of probabilities? No. Can it scooch a little higher? Yeah. 3 ATR. Close enough for government work? Yeah. And now we're at 3 ATR. So look, there's a number of things you can look at here, just using different time frames to help you find your groove. IPOs are absolutely something I think are fun to look at. I think if you listen to the last 2 weeks of radio shows, it's going to really open your eyes, and you can make some research your own, because look, this isn't, to me, this isn't fun. This right here, my friends, to me, is no fun. What do you mean by no fun? It's just like the NFL, no fun league, right? And so 3 HR pullback, and we're back to that 78-minute time frame, and it works. And look, everyone's rotating, talking about the big rotation in large cap tech. And let's just get Amazon. I do not know why it won't go back any further. Oh, won't let me AutoZoom. Okay, we'll just, is Amazon beyond the laws of 3 HR or the daily chart? There we go. So let's start with the daily chart. You know, can Amazon run up in earnings and pull back from 3 ATR? Yeah, 3 ATR, pull back. 3 ATR, pull back. Not quite 3 ATR. How about 3 ATR and pull back? And look at where you are now. It could base here. It could just absolutely trade sideways, but I can't begin to tell you how important situational awareness is, and not trying to jump on the train or the car before, you know, before it's about to Thelma and Louise you right here. And it's not catastrophic. It's just painful to sit through. It doesn't mean Amazon's a bad stock. It just means those kind of moves are painful to sit through. So is there a way to find some stocks that are finding their groove, which IPOs are right now for some reason. And can you then sort them for a trigger event like a 5 through an 8 exponential moving average? And from there, can you figure out how to take action? At the very least, if you want the list, where did the list go? Just email me, tim@revereasset.com, or you can shoot me a message on Twitter. I'll be more than happy to send you this. Now, look, somebody asked me, Tim, you got some color coding on your candles here, and I need to know what it is. And I'm going to tell you, it's absolutely positively nothing. It just helps me discern trend and price. When I tell you it's tertiary in my world, it's like the last. It's not a decision maker for me. You see some blue dots on my candles. You're like, what's that? I coded up volume. So I know, you notice there's no volume on my chart. I don't have volume here. On my chart, I have ATR. Yeah, I can see volume in my candles because I can code them. And I know when volume is exceeding certain parameters because they're what I programmed in there. So, and it works on all different time frames. Like we have Amazon up here, so I put on a 15-minute chart. Yeah, you see blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot, blue dot. So, look, there are things for me. It's probably not the answer this person's looking for, but trust me, they're not decision makers for me. The things that I spend time talking to you about, those, my friends, are the decision makers for me. I hope it helps. Hope you had a good time. And so listen, who has your video tomorrow night? Hunter has your video tomorrow night. Then Friday we come at you with the video podcast. A lot of good feedback on that. So thank you for tuning in. And then Don takes you into the weekend with his 21/21. So with that, hope you have a great night, and I will see you at the next update.